Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Diajeng Aulya Sekartaji from IPMI Institute. Everything I will explain here in the video is my own understanding based on the material. She is IP consultant, corporate lawyer, family attorney, and lecturer, and also from Professor Leonard Ong. Influencing and negotiating are things we all try to do all the time. And there will be many occasions where we want to influence colleagues or partners to adopt a specific course of action, persuade our peers or stakeholders to take part in joint projects or work with us towards a particular goal or negotiate. Negotiating means involves being able to discuss and reach a mutually satisfactory agreement, while influencing means encompasses both negotiating and persuading. In order to achieve negotiating and influencing, there's something that we need to understand beforehand. Before we arrive to the discussion of negotiation, we have to remember our communication skills by recognizing other aspects such as culture and interpersonal communication, verbal messages, skill of listening, persuading individuals and audience, interpersonal power and influence, negotiation strategy and tactic. If you ever heard about the cultural iceberg, it basically means we have something deep down there to be more understandable, like values, beliefs, opinions, and attitudes that will be understood by some who knew us very well. Next, there are the graph that showing cultural differences become larger if the effort needed to adjust also increases. If two cultures are very similar, only a small adjustment is needed to understand each other or working together. But if the cultures are very different, much more effort is required to adapt, learn, and bridge the gap. So we have the principle of verbal messages. In my personal opinion, verbal messages and messages particularly are packaged, means verbal and non-verbal messages are support each other as gift or package that sometimes we fail to notice. We still have to beware of easy interpretation. Second, messages meanings are in people. So no word or messages means the same thing to two different people. And lastly, we have to apply politeness. And in most culture, every politeness value the same, and it is very important for the sake of our interpersonal interaction through our face, word, and reaction. From this chapter, I found interesting method to having an effective verbal messaging, and it is called DIVE, which stand for describe, interpret, verify, and the last one is evaluate. This is the tools that we have to apply before we replying to someone or like having a response to other people. Okay, next one is about listening. So when the listening process consists of 5 stages that require active management to minimize errors and improve communication, like receiving, understanding, remembering, evaluating, and responding. And each of the stage, like receiving, will focus on something else. Like if we on a stage of receiving, so we have to hear the speaker's messages by isolating it from external distraction like noises. For example, in a noisy outdoor event, the crowd may obscure the speaker's voice despite the sound system, highlighting how external noise complicates receiving messages. Second one is understanding. So at this stage, we seek to comprehend the speaker's message, which can be challenging if words are unclear or interpreted differently due to varied backgrounds and experience. Stage 3 are remembering. Effective listening leads to remembering what was said. Memory improves when messages are processed meaningfully, like associating new information with personal memories. Failure to accurately understand a message often result in poor recall. For instance, Complex or detail heavy content calls for heightened attentiveness as even minor distraction can disrupt memory. Stage 4 is evaluating. Listener, listener critically assess the message during the stage, influenced by their own biases and experience. And the last stage is responding to feedback. Feedback, either verbal or nonverbal, signals a listener reaction to a message. Next are persuading. So, the persuasion process involves influencing others, like attitudes, beliefs, or behaviors through communication. It typically involves in several key stages. Awareness. In this initial stage, the persuader introduces an idea, issue, or product to the audience, aiming to capture their attention and make them aware of it. And second one is interest. After capturing attention, the persuader builds interest by providing more details, benefits, or context. These stage engage the audience, making them curious or concerned about the topic. Third, there are desire. Here, the persuader aims to make the audience see why they need or want what is being presented. This often involves appealing to emotion, demonstrating value, or addressing potential objection. And the last one is action. This final stage seeks to motivate the audience to take a specific action, such as making a purchase, changing their viewpoint, or adopting new behavior. So we've come to power and influence, where they say that power is potential influence, while influence is kinetic power. In my opinion, in our daily life, both as students and workers, we encounter power and influence constantly. It's very helpful to understand how these terms relate, especially in achieving goals, collaborating with others, and navigating different environments. And I think there is an easy way to grasp this connection. So, power is like potential energy. It represents your capacity to create change or affect others' behavior, decision, or emotion. And power can come from various sources, such as your position, like being a team leader, knowledge and skills, access to information, or even your charisma. Think of it like having a fully charged phone battery. It's there, ready to use, but doesn't make anything happen on its own until you do something with it. On the other hand, influence is power in motion. It's what you do with your power to actually affect others. Influence is about applying your power to guide, persuade, inspire, or lead people toward a particular outcome or action. Continuing the phone metaphor, influence is like using that battery power to make calls, send messages, or stream music. It's active, engaging, and make things happen. So, as a student, let's say I'm knowledgeable about a subject and have strong leadership skill. That's my power and my ability to potentially lead group projects and shape discussion. But it becomes influence when I motivate my classmates to work together, share my insight to clarify difficult concepts, or convince others to adapt a new idea or a project. So influence is the practical, real world expression that of that potential. And while at work, I might have the power that comes with a job title, such as being a manager or a project lead. However, simply having that title doesn't automatically make people respect or follow your direction. You need to use influence to build trust, show empathy, communicate early, communicate clearly, you need to use influence to build trust, show empathy, communicate clearly, and lead by example. Influence turns your potential power into actual result. like getting your team to meet a tough deadline or adopt a new work process. So what if we have to deal with others who has more power? When dealing with people who have more power, it is important to approach them with respect and an open mind. This doesn't mean you have to agree with everything they say, but starting from a place of courtesy help create a good atmosphere for any conversation. It's also key to be prepared, know your facts, understand what you want, and be ready to explain your points clearly. Speaking confidently without being arrogant show that you value the discussion and take it seriously. Finding common ground is another smart move. If you understand what they care about, you can present your ideas in a way that connects with their goals or interests. Being honest and genuine also goes a long way. Most people respect authenticity. If you made a mistake or facing a challenge, admitting it openly often builds trust. Hi, Ulhak. Can we talk for a minute? I've been feeling really frustrated with some of the things happening at work lately. It seems like women are being overlooked for key excitement and promotion. Have you noticed that too?
Honestly, I don't see it that way. I think the focus on gender sometimes get a bit exaggerated. People just need to work hard and show their value. Gender shouldn't be a factor. It's just how the workplace works.
Okay, I get that. It can seem that way, but the reality is that gender does influence opportunities where we realize or not. I've seen it firsthand. Women are often asked to prove themselves more than men, even when the skills are the same. This is a systematic issue that affects everyone's success.
I don't know, people who get promoted or get the best assignment usually just put in the most efforts or have the right skills. Gender is hardly ever this issue. It seems like people are looking for problems where there aren't any.
I'm very understand that it might feel that way, but look at the data.
Well, maybe, but it seems like every workplace has its challenges. I'm not sure if focusing on gender is the right way to go about solving this. Isn't better to just focus on performance, not gender?
Okay, well, I completely agree that performance should be the main focus, but there's the thing. If women don't have the same opportunities to showcase their skill, then we're not seeing the full picture of performance. Studies have shown that when women's voices are splendid or they face subtle biases, it affects their ability to perform at their best. Mentorship and equal opportunities are crucial, but without addressing these biases, it's hard for women to succeed.
I get where you're coming from, but I still think we might be complicating things. I don't see big issues here. It seems like if women just work a little harder or spoke up more, they get ahead.
I hear you, Ulhak, but the issue is not about hard work alone. It's about creating an environment where women can actually succeed and be seen for their potential. The company's diversity and inclusion goals can, only succeed if gender bias is addressed at every level.
I don't know, sounds like a lot of effort for something that might not even be the problem.
Okay, I think we should frame this as an opportunity, not a burden. If we can present clear, actionable steps like mentorship programs for women and setting clear evaluation criteria for promotion, it would make the workplace.
I'm not convinced yet, but I see your point about improving the overall environment. I guess if we focus on clear, measurable changes and back it up with the data, maybe it's worth considering.
Companies with Some diversity perform better, and that's something that benefits the bottom line. So, focusing on this issue will actually strengthen the whole organization.
Okay, okay, I can get behind that approach. If we focus on the clear improvements for everyone, I'm willing to give it a shot. Let's get some data and work on a plan.
Thanks, Ilhak. I'm glad you're on board. Let's do this together and we'll make a positive change.